Balikan po natin ngayon ang nangyayari naman sa Villamor Air Base. Kani-kanina lamang ay nakita ho natin na ibinabalik na doon sa kanilang mga crate itong Balangiga Bells. 3 po yan, ano? At inaasahan nga na ibabalik dito naman sa shrine ng Balangiga sa Eastern Samar. At dinaluhan po yan ng ilan sa mga opisyal ng ating bansa, ng pangunguna pa rin ni Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea, ang Defense Secretary na si Delfin Lorenzana, at sa hanay naman po ng US ay naroon ang ambassador nila na si Ambassador Kim at ilan pang mga opisyal ng US Defense. At ngayon po ay inaasahan din ho natin na magkakaroon pa rin ng signing of Certificate of Transfer and Acceptance sa pangunguna naman ni Secretary Delfin Lorenzana at ni Ambassador Sung Yong Kim. Inaasahan po natin na pagkatapos nga nito ay magkakaroon naman ng ilang pang mensahe mula po sa mga opisyal.
Magandang hapon. Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us today. It is a tremendous honor for me to be a part of this historic occasion. I'm proud and grateful to be joined by Executive Secretary Medialdea, Defense Secretary Lorenzana, Ambassador Romualdez, and outstanding leaders of the armed forces of the Philippines. I'm also very happy to see so many distinguished friends, including senators and congresspeople, to witness this historic event. We have 2 very special guests from the United States who traveled all the way here for this momentous event. Indo-PACOM Commander Admiral Davidson and Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense Joe Felter. Welcome. We're gathered to welcome the return of the Bells of Balangiga to the Philippines people. It has been a long road home. Many Filipinos and Americans worked tirelessly for decades to make today possible. I'm so glad many of them are here today, including my friends Henry, Dennis, and Joe. Since President Ramos first raised the issue of bells with President Clinton in 1993, virtually every Philippine president has pressed for the bells' return. As the video we just saw reminds us, President Duterte made a forceful appeal for the bells' return during his 2017 State of the Nation address. I was there and heard his passionate call loud and clear. President Duterte followed up with a personal appeal to our Secretary of Defense, James Mattis, who, like all of us here today, recognized that returning the bells is the right thing to do, and that by returning the bells, the U.S. could restore to its friend and ally an important symbol of national independence, and also demonstrate our commitment to a relationship of 2 sovereign nations, 2 equal partners, and mutual respect. The bells before us are the original bells that hung in Balangiga San Lorenzo de Martir Church. The history of these bells spans the entire relationship between the United States and the Philippines. And in the process, they have touched many lives. And their return underscores the enduring friendship between our countries, our shared values, and shared sacrifices. This solemn ceremony reminds us of the many brave Filipinos and Americans who fought for freedom. In 1901, our 2 countries were adversaries. That painful conflict soon ended, and our countries became partners and friends. We fought together for freedom and to protect democratic values across the Indo-Pacific region. In World War II and in Korea, our soldiers fought, bled, died, and sacrificed side by side. Together, they made possible the peace and prosperity that we enjoy today. I recently had the privilege of awarding the Congressional Gold Medal to 40 brave Filipino veterans of World War II. It was truly inspiring to hear about their courage, commitment, and sacrifice. And thanking them in person was a deeply moving experience for me, and in a sense, an appropriate prelude to today's ceremony. The return of the bells lets us reflect on the U.S.-Philippines relationship, where we have been, where we are, and where we are going. Having now served over 2 years as U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, I can tell you with great confidence that our relationship remains ironclad, consecrated by the service and sacrifice of Americans and Filipinos who fought side by side. Our shared history is enduring and deeply personal. Our relationship has withstood the tests of history and flourishes today. And every day, our relationship is further strengthened by our unbreakable alliance, robust economic partnership, and deep people-to-people ties. So on behalf of the United States, it is my great honor to be here at this closing of a painful chapter in our history. The Bells return reflects the strong bonds and mutual respect between our two nations and our peoples. It demonstrates our determination to honor the past and the sacrifices made together by Filipinos and Americans. And it heralds our bright future as friends, partners, and allies. The Bells of Balangiga are now home in the Philippines where they belong. Secretary Lorenzana, please take them to the people of Balangiga and to the Church of San Lorenzo. May they ring in peace and bear testament to the ties and values which bind our two great nations for generations to come. Thank you very much. Salamat po.
Thank you, sir. The Secretary of National Defense, Secretary Dolphin and Lorenzana will now give his remarks.
Executive Secretary Salvador Medeldia, Ambassador Song Yong Kim, Dr. Joseph Felter, who accompanied the Bell from Cadena Air Force Base to here this morning, Ambassador Raul Rabe and Mrs. Maria Buena Rabe, Ambassador Jose Manuel Romualdez, our ambassador to the United States, former Senate President Aquilino Nene Pimentel and Mrs. Lourdes Pimentel, Senator Aquilino Coco Pimentel and Mrs. Katrina Yu Pimentel, Senator Dick Gordon, Rear Admiral Philip Davidson, Commander of Indo-PACOM, Lieutenant General Galileo Quintanar, Commanding General of the Philippine Air Force, and other AFP officials here, Undersecretary Mapago, the President of the Veterans Federation of the Philippines, Judge Mamaran, is here. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. One cannot imagine the great joy that the return of the Balangiga Bells brings to the Filipino people. The Filipinos, especially those from Samar, welcome this occasion. Finally, after 117 years, the Bells of Balangiga are coming home, are home actually, and will once again take their place at the Balangiga Church. This is the most memorable day in our nation's history, and we celebrate it with deep gratitude and respect for all those who helped to make this day happen. Now, it was shown in the video presentation that the start was in 1958, but it goes all the way to 1935. By no less than the leader of the band that attacked the Americans in Balangiga, Eugenio Daza. And he wrote a paper urging our government to request the return of the bells. And he is represented by his great-grandson here. Roy, where are you? Yeah. Eugenio Roy Daza, the grandson of... and we also have here Congressman Raul Daza of Samar, I think the great nephew of Eugenio Daza. So when I was in the United States, I saw a lot of people who work for the Bells, and some of them are here. Let me recognize Dennis Wright, Brian Bosell, was there, and this is a triumvirate actually. Brian, Dennis, and Dan McKinnon, who served in the Philippines as a young lieutenant, a young ensign, work hard for this. And also here is Bing Brannigan, one of the columnists of Manila Mail, who has been writing about about the bells. But of course, the person who made the most or who gave the most effort is Henry Howard here. Please stand up, Henry. He was the one who lobbied for the inclusion of the return of the bells in the 2018 NDAA. And he also spent for the transportation of the bells from Wyoming to Philadelphia and also for the refurbishment. Thank you very much, Henry. How these bells ended up in the F.E. Warren Air Force Base in Wyoming and in South Korea after the 1901 event has become common knowledge and readily accessible in the internet. Therefore, there is no need to belabor or to argue who was wrong and who was right. But it is safe to say that these bells have come to symbolize a painful episode in the history of both the Philippines and the United States. How could mere 3 bells, South Church bells, evoke so much intense emotion among Filipinos and Americans? Maybe because we human beings live by symbols such as our national flag, and in this instance, these bells. It is a symbol of our unity, of our identity, and of ourselves. These bells came to symbolize something precious and important to both sides. They symbolize the courage and patriotism of the soldiers whose acts they would like to perpetuate with these bells. And now they are home. They are going back to where they belong. It's time for healing. It is time for closure. It is time to look ahead as two nations should, with shared history and as allies. When Secretary Jim Mattis and several others, including Henry Howard and Joe Filter, went to Warren Air Force Base in Wyoming to get the bells, he delivered a beautiful speech, and I am quoting a part of it. He said, "To those who think that we are losing something by returning the bells, please hear me out when I say that the bells mark time, but courage is timeless. It does not fade in history in dimly lit corridors, nor is it forgotten in the history of conflict." End of quote. I understand that replicas of the bells were forged, and these replicas will be brought back to F.E. Warren Air Force Base and Camp Red Cloud in South Korea to serve as memorials. Once these originals in front of us and the replicas reach the destinations, it is our hope that closure would have been achieved. It is our hope that they will no longer remind us of that painful episode of our joint history. Instead, let them serve as memorials to those soldiers who fought valiantly for their country. The bells of Balangiga will once again peal. They will still remind the people of Balangiga of what happened in their town square more than a century ago. But they would also look at that history with more understanding and acceptance. These peals will be of joy, revelry, and remembrance, of shared histories and ideals, of new beginnings, of renewed friendships, and a stronger bond of two nations who have surmounted past challenges together, and together are ready to face the future. Let the bells toll strong and loud for our countries. God bless the Philippines. God bless America. God bless us all. Thank you and mabuhay.
Thank you, sir.
Po ang ibinigay na talumpati ni Ambassador to the Philippines, U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Sung Yong Kim, at gayon din naman po si DND Secretary Delphine Lorenzana, kung saan pareho naman nilang sinabi na talagang ito ang pagbabalik po ng tatlong Balangiga Bells ay nagsisimbolo ng healing at closure para po sa mga nagdaang conflict o mga iba pang mga problema noon sa pagitan po ng dalawang bansa noong 1901. At ito naman ay nagsisimbolo rin ngayon ng patuloy na magandang relasyon ng United States of America at ng ating bansa.